Hi, I'm Dobby, but you can call me Dabz. So today I have for you guys my Fall TBR. These are a couple, there's more than this. These are just the ones that I have physical copies of, but I have 6 books for you guys that I plan to read this fall. A couple of them to me like have kind of fall vibes. Some of them I just want to read. But yeah, so I'm gonna introduce all these books to you guys and kind of give a little bit of a synopsis on like what they're about. So the first book I have for you guys is called The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This book is a book that I've wanted to read for a really long time. It's always like appealed to me like what it's about, but I finally just got the physical copy of it. I actually talked about it in my book haul video, so if you guys want more information about that, you can check that out. It's going to be similar to what I say here. But this book is about Richard. He comes from a poorer background. He arrives at his preppy, prestigious New England college, and soon he becomes accepted into this closely knit kind of wealthy clique of friends. Richard tries his hardest to become like them, but because of his background, like he's obviously very different from them, but he tries his hardest, and the group slowly becomes obsessed with this specific way of like thinking, and they kind of spiral into evil and even murder. I think to me, the fact that this book is like set in college, like the dark academia vibes of it, like that all to me it gives very fall. So like if I could pick a season to read this in, it would be fall, so I'm very excited to read this. I don't know, it just gives me fall vibes. So the next book I have is called Kids of Appetite by David Arnold. I've had this book for like genuinely forever. I even got it signed by the author at BookCon, which like I went to BookCon like years ago.
It's our second day at BookCon, and we just went and got, I just went and got Kids of Appetite signed by David Arnold.
But I never ended up reading it. But recently I came across the synopsis of this book, and it sounds very interesting to me. So this story is about love and loss, and it's about Victor and Madeline. And it begins with the death of Victor's father and ends with the murder of Madeline's uncle. But what's more interesting and important is everything that happens in between. I don't know why I never picked this book up. It sounds so interesting to me reading the blurb. So I think this fall is finally when I have to read it. So the next book is called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I also talked about this book. I think it's in a video titled like books about libraries and bookstores or something similar to that. It also kind of like libraries and books about books, like that kind of also reminds me of autumn. I'm not sure why. So in this book, there is a library between life and death, and it allows people to live as if they had lived their life differently. In this book, the main character, Nora Seed, she arrives in this library after kind of a life of regret, and she feels like she finally has a chance to make things right. And as she begins to undo her mistakes one by one, her choices put herself and the library in danger. So it sounds very interesting. I've heard good things about this book, so hopefully it'll be good. So the next book I have is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This book is a classic, obviously, and this book reminds me of fall, but I think just all classics like generally remind me of fall a lot, because like classics remind me of Rory Gilmore, and Gilmore Girls just like embodies autumn, I think. But in this book is the love story of the daughter of a country gentleman, Elizabeth Bennet, and the wealthy aristocrat, Mr. Darcy. And they kind of must overcome their own biases in the way that they grew up in order to end up together. I think I just like need to read this book. I need to read more classics, and I think this is a good place to start. Okay, so I have 2 more books for you guys that I don't have the physical copy of, but the first one of those books is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This book is kind of like a rom-com type book, and I added this in here because like I wanted something on my fall TBR that's a little bit lighter and like easier to read and kind of romance. Like I feel like I haven't read romance in a long time. So this book is about main character Liz, and she's been crushing on Michael for who knows how long. When Michael moves back to town after moving away, Liz sees it as her chance. She even befriends Wes Bennett, which is this guy that lives next door. He's super annoying. Like he's always been annoying to Liz. However, while pursuing Michael, Liz is surprised to discover that she's begun falling for Wes instead. This book, I've heard like so many people, like especially on Book Talk, say that it's like so good. It's so cute. It's such a good like romance, like easy read. So I've like been interested in it. It looks really good. The next book I have for you guys is called As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This book is the final book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I read book 1 and 2. I really love them, but I haven't picked up 3 yet. And in this book, like, the main character, Pip, she's like starting college, so that kind of gives fall vibes, but also like murder mysteries in general just remind me of fall. I think maybe because it's like Halloween-y, like horror. So that reminds me of fall. So that's why I think I want to read it this fall. And also, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder TV show just came out on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm very, very excited. The casting looks really good. So I'm really excited. But in this book, it follows our trilogy's protagonist, Pip. And Pip is about to head to college, but she's still kind of plagued by death threats and like these things that she receives after her viral podcast that she released about one of her investigations. One specific threat kind of like is really bugging her and it's catching her eye, and it's this anonymous person that keeps asking like, who will look for you when you disappear? And soon Pip realizes that she's being followed and she must take the case into her own hands once again and solve the mystery. I get kind of scared like reading far into series because I get scared that like they're never going to be as good as the first book, but I've heard a lot of people say that this book in specific is like amazing, so I'm very excited. So that would be my fall TBR for 2024. I had 6 books for you guys. If there's any of these books in specific that you're interested in seeing like more about, like a review after I finish reading it, let me know in the comments. But that would be the end of my video. If you like this video, then like this video and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and happy reading.